Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. So today I'm going to be doing a wear test on the new Lancome Skin Feels Good, like, healthy glow hydrating skin tint. I almost called it a foundation, but it's really not. It's just like really a skin tint. So I'm going to be doing a wear test on this today, kind of explaining to you guys a little bit about the product. I got this from the Lancome website when they were doing Friends and Family, and I was so excited because I literally could not wait for the Sephora sale anymore. I wanted to try it so badly. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Do you like my nice, like horrible breakouts? I started using the Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser again, and my skin really freaked out, so apparently I can't use that anymore. But yeah, so we're gonna try and cover those up and see how this does to do that. But yeah, so we're gonna start with a primer, and I'm going to be using this Lunan Aster primer. It's a Real Glow bronzing primer. I got this recently from Blue Mercury, and I really like it. It just adds like a very nice like bronzy glow to the skin, and I'm feeling a little dull today, so I figured I'd try this. When I first put it on my skin, it looks crazy because it is like kind of pigmented, but once it's rubbed in, it's really beautiful. I promise. I'm so upset with myself because my skin had been looking so good since I started using this new cleanser that I'm going to talk about in an updated skincare routine soon. And my skin literally had never looked better. It was so clear. And then I started using the Milky Jelly Cleanser just as like a morning cleanser because the cleanser that I'm using at night, I didn't want to use it like in the morning as well. So I started using that as like a way to like just freshen the skin before I put makeup on, and it didn't do well. But I am going to be doing an updated skincare routine soon because I found some new products that I've really been loving, and my skin previously to this have been looking so good. So I'm going to talk about some stuff once it calms down. Alright, so now we're going to go in with the Lancome skin tint, and I have the Sephora description pulled up right here. So the coverage is sheer, obviously, because it's a skin tint. It's good for all skin types. Its finish is radiant, which I definitely agree with. It gives like a very luminous glow to the skin, which I really like. It has SPF 23. It's a weird number. I don't know. It's hydrating, oil-free, and it's so you can create a no makeup look. It's infused with antioxidants to protect against free radicals and pollution. I feel like I see a lot of companies doing this now, putting like pollution protection in skincare, like from the elements, I guess, and stuff. From pollution, that's not an element. Woo! I feel like that's becoming like more of a trend in skincare and makeup, so I feel that's kind of interesting that they kind of jumped on that. Let's see, what else does it say? Apparently it's buildable. It has skin nourishing ingredients like hyaluronic acid. So I like to take just one pump of the product. Oh gosh, the cap is rolling away. I do like the squeezy tube pump packaging. I don't know why, I just really like that. So that's what it looks like on my hand. If my camera will focus, there it goes. It does have a very yellow undertone. I have the shade 01 Nude. It's a neutral shade. This is the second lightest shade in the collection, and when I put it on my skin, you're gonna be like, what? Because you can definitely see it on the skin, but once you blend it in, the color just really shears out. It just like adapts to your skin, so it actually ends up working for me. I had a different color at first. I got a tester from Sephora, and the girl like did not match me well. She was kind of like, yeah, this color looks good, and like didn't even like pump it out or try it on my skin, and it was way too dark for me. And I was like, girlfriend. So I decided to go with this color, and it definitely works a lot better for me. As you can see, it just kind of like blends in with the skin. Now I'm not going to be able to cover these spots with this because obviously it's not like a full coverage foundation. It's definitely sheer, but I like that this does even my skin tone really well. I do have a lot of discoloration on my cheeks, just like redness and stuff. Nothing too crazy, but it definitely does even that out. I'll zoom you guys in when I'm done so that you can see it. But I am going to try and layer it today because I don't think I've tried to do that yet. I've just kind of put on like a very light layer when doing my makeup. I've been really into like lighter bases recently. I just find that full coverage foundations just really tend to clog my pores, and they don't sit well on my skin anymore. So also excuse my voice, I really think I'm getting sick. It sounds very gravelly today. So this is one layer. It looks very natural on the skin, just a very glowy You can see that? Very glowy. I like the glow. So now I still have a little bit on my hands. So I'm just going to take some of my brush and kind of try and like dab it in these places that have discoloration and that spot. Sorry, I keep looking up. I'm using my viewfinder as a mirror. Even though I have a mirror sitting right in front of me, I don't really know what I'm doing. I feel like that blocks your view sometimes though, so trying to make you guys be able to see this. I will say I did do a good job of covering up the blemish I had right here, mostly because that one's kind of flat now. It's just really red, but the bump I have on my cheek is still kind of showing. But I don't expect this to have full coverage. Like, that's not what I was intending, so I actually don't mind that peeking through a little bit. But the redness on my cheek is completely gone. Let's see. This dry patch down here, I need to. Doesn't look any enhanced at all. I have this really bad dry patch right here. I don't know what from. I think it was a reaction to a product that I had been using and stopped using. And it's still kind of healing a little bit. But every time I was putting foundation on it, it was just getting worse and worse. So I'm glad that this doesn't enhance it. It just kind of like makes it look more hydrated. Let's see, I'm gonna put a little more in these places. Alright, so that is, I have an itch on the side of my nose. So this is the foundation. I'm going to zoom you guys in quickly so you can see what my skin looks like. Okay, so this is my skin with the foundation on. It still looks super glowy. It looks very natural. Like I said, the spot isn't completely covered, but it is a sheer coverage, so I wasn't expecting that. The discoloration on my cheek, like my redness underneath these spots, was definitely evened. I feel like you can't even see it at all. This little spot got covered pretty well. My dry patch down here looks very hydrated. You can't even really see it, which that's a good thing. But yeah, so overall it looks very natural on the skin. It's very hydrating, very luminous. So I'm going to zoom you guys back out now. So now I'm going to continue on with the rest of my makeup to see how things sit on top. And then it is, let's see what time it is. It's 10 o'clock now, so, oh, Lynn just texted me. It's 10 o'clock now, so I'm going to check in periodically throughout the day. I'm going to try and do 2 check-ins, but I got a kind of busy day today, so I might just be checking in at the end of the day, but I will definitely leave in the description box how this wore throughout the day, if I forget to talk more in depth about the entire day at the end. But anyway, so we're going to move on. I'm going to move on to concealer, and I have my NARS Soft Matte Concealer here. When I have like spots or blemishes, this is the concealer that I like to use, so we're just going to see how this blends on top of this. I also wanted to see how it would do with a luminous base with like a matte concealer on top, so we're going to test that out as well. So let's see. So I've been using the Core Organics eye oil during the day, and my Kiehl's like midnight recovery eye cream at night. And honestly, I really haven't been putting too much concealer under my eyes. My eyes look so much brighter, and they look just like so much more hydrated. I'm amazed. It's incredible. But I just wanted to throw that in. I don't know why. I think because I was putting concealer on my eyes, so you know. But anyway, so we're just gonna blend this. I'm using the Morphe Y10, and I use the Morphe M439 to blend in my foundation. My go-to foundation brush for like lightweight bases. Oh man, I love this concealer. So it's blending actually pretty nicely on top of this foundation. It still looks like very natural. It did a pretty good job covering that bump. This bump is just like so like just nothing can cover it, so I'm not mad at it. Let's see. The one thing I really like about this NARS concealer, well, there's a lot of things, but even though it is a matte finish, it's still like when you blend it on the skin, it's not like overpoweringly matte like the Tarte Shape Tape is. I decluttered that because it just, well, I passed it along to a friend because it just did not work on my skin. Like every time I wore it, within seconds, like it would be creased no matter what I set it with, no matter what. So that was just too matte for my skin. But even though this is matte, like it doesn't get cakey and dry like that did. I don't know what it is. Okay, so my concealer is blended. It still looks super natural on the skin. It still looks glowy. But my blemishes are definitely a little bit more camouflage now. Minus this one. This one's just, I just can't even do anything about it. But yeah, overall my skin tone looks really evened, which is what I go for. I don't need it to be like completely covered and flawless because that's just not the look I go for anymore. I just like my skin tone to look even. That's really it. So we're going to move on to powders. And I'm going to set my T-zone with the Hourglass Diffused Light powder. I've been using this a little bit again because I'm honestly like, I still like it, but it's not my favorite setting powder anymore, so I'm just trying to like use it up. I've never actually used the powder up before, so I'm kind of excited to actually do this. I hit like major pan in it, so I think because these powders are so soft that it's really easy to hit pan. I still love the Hourglass powders. I just don't think this setting powder really works for me anymore. It's a little bit too brightening. So I have to have like a really light hand, otherwise it looks a little crazy. But I still love my bronzer, still love my blush, still love the palette. Alright, we're still looking dewy, still looking fresh and natural. I'm liking this so far. Actually, I already didn't know I like it. I have tried it once before this. I just wanted to do a wear test for you guys, but anyway. So now I'm going to contour. I'm going to use my Kevin Aucoin powder. Nothing new to see here. And my Japanesque NARS dupe brush. Although it started to like shed a lot, which makes me really sad. It is such a wonderful brush though. It just fits so nicely in your cheeks. I don't know what it is. Alrighty, contour is done. Ooh. That was my mirror. Sorry, I'm trying to reorganize my little thing here. Alright, so now I'm going to bronze the skin, and I'm going to be using my Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light Bronzer. Wow, I've got a lot of Hourglass going on today. And I'm going to use this MAC brush. This is the 187 short handle little duo fiber brush. I've been looking for the most perfect duo fiber brush ever. Oh my gosh, Alana Davison uses a duo fiber brush to do her bronzer, and it always looks so flawless. So I've been trying to find one, and the one that she uses, the e.l.f. one, you literally cannot get it anywhere but the e.l.f. website. So my mom had this one, and I stole it from her. So I've been using it. It's pretty nice. I love MAC brushes. They're really good quality. Although I feel like they're kind of expensive now. I've been spoiled by like the Morphe brushes. But honestly, a lot of my Morphe brushes have kind of started to disintegrate. A lot of them, I've had them for over a year now and washed them a few times. Well, like a lot of times, because, you know, you're supposed to clean your brushes. And I just think that, yes, they're good brushes and they're cheap, but they're not in it for the long haul. That's kind of my take on the subject. I'm going really bronzy today. I don't know what is going on right now. Apparently, I just want to look bronzy and luminous. Not a bad thing. But yeah, so I've been trying to like slowly but surely invest in some long use brushes. So I just bought a MAC like foundation brush that I'm excited to test out. And I just got the Bobbi Brown blush brush. Both Alana recommendations. So I'm sure you'll be seeing those soon. I kind of want to do like a full face first impressions with some new products that I recently picked up. So those brushes will be included, but let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. During the summer, like, I tan really easily, which is a pain in the butt when it comes to like putting makeup on and stuff, but I love it so much. It's so great. Alright, I'm moving on. I don't know why I'm like rambling about random stuff. But now I'm gonna wear blush, and I've been trying to wear a lot more blush recently. I don't know, I've really, all of a sudden I did like a complete 180 and I was like, I love blush. So I'm going to be using this Burt's Bees blush in Toasted Cinnamon, which is like this nice like neutral peachy bronze shade. I think it'll look really nice with this bronzer. Powders are sitting really nice on this foundation or skin tint. They're not getting like dry at all or cakey. Like my skin still looks really fresh and natural, but you can definitely tell that like I bronze because I look a lot darker now. Alright, so now we're going to move on to highlight, and I'm using my, yeah, we'll move on to highlight. I'm going to use my Essence Pure Nude. I normally do highlight last, but I don't really have that much more to do, so I'm just going to do it. And I love this highlight for just like a natural glow, and I feel like with this skin tint, because it's already pretty glowy, I don't need too much of a glow. I also found that a lot of my highlighters that I have are like super in your face, and they just like look really dry on my skin right now. My skin's been extra dry. It's kind of like getting better now because I changed up my routine, but it was for a while like looking really dry on my cheeks and stuff. I'm just going to run these two shades in my crease and then top it off with a ColourPop shadow, which I'll show you in a sec. This is like my go-to eye look recently. I love, love, love this palette. Like, it's literally the only palette that I've used since I bought it. And recently I was like, oh, I kind of want a new eyeshadow palette. And I thought about buying the Anastasia the Soft Glam palette. But honestly, there are so many shades that are similar to other things that I have, and I just love this palette so much. I'm like, I'm not going to use any other palette. So I haven't bought any eyeshadow palettes. How crazy is that? Alright, so I did a light dusting of that, and now I'm going to take ColourPop. This is actually a highlight and might be, but it's a little too dark for my skin right now. So I've actually been using it as an eyeshadow, and it looks really pretty. So I'm going to put that on the lids. I'm just going to use my finger. Anyway, I love the ColourPop formula. I think it's really unique, and it just looks really nice on the skin, especially the highlights and the shadows and the blushes too. I actually really like those. The thing I'm not a big fan of the pressed powders, the highlights and the bronzers. I don't know, I just don't think they're okay. They're like, okay. But they didn't blow me away like the Super Shock stuff does. So I guess that's why I was kind of like, meh. I just love this formula so much. Alright, so that's the eyes completed. I'm just going to throw on some mascara, which, nothing new to see here. I'm using the Lancome Wash Your Big. I freaking love this mascara. It's amazing. It just creates your it just gives your lashes so much volume and so much length. Okay. Oh my gosh, guys, I didn't grab a lip color. I need to grab a lip color. They're right here, so. Alright, I'm just going to use this Buxom Power Plump Lip Balm in Big O on my lips today. I love this stuff. It literally is a dupe for the Dior lip gloss. So that is the finished makeup. Very bronzy and glowy today, which is how I like to look all the time. The foundation still looks really good. It's not settling into any lines. I still look very radiant and natural. There's a hair in my mouth. That was gross. Powder sat really, really well on top of them. It didn't get like dry and cakey at all, and you can hardly see them on my face. It just looks like a nice plane of, I don't know, bronze. Like, I literally cannot see the powder on my skin. And normally, like, you can see it a little bit. It just happens, like, if your skin's dry or if you're just having one of those days. But normally, I can see powders on my skin, and I cannot see these at all. So they blended really nice on top. They didn't get patchy or skip at all, which is also very nice. Let's see what else. All my discoloration is gone. You can still see my spots peeking through in a few spaces, but I didn't really do a lot to cover them. I just use, like, obviously the skin tint's not going to cover them, and I just use like a light wash of concealer, so I wasn't really trying to like full on cover them. I want them to breathe a little. So those you can still see, but it definitely looks more even, and they're not standing out as much. Thank God. The dry patch down here doesn't look dry at all. It just looks like skin. Yes. So I really, really like this. I have like just so much bronzer on my forehead right now. I need to fix this. I went a little too crazy. But yeah, so I will check in. It's 10:17 right now. I'm gonna try and check in like midday, probably around like 2 o'clock, and then at night before I take my makeup off. So I will see you guys then. Bye guys. Hey guys, so just woke up from a nap. Totally lost track of the day. I don't even know what time it is right now. I should go get my phone and check that. Let's go see what time it is. Okay, it is 5:24. It's almost 5:30. I've had this makeup on for the majority of the day. I was supposed to check in around 2 and completely forgot. My face still looks decent. I do have some patches like right here. Wow, you can see all of my texture. I have some patches right here that are super dry. That is where I had that skin irritation. That's been like uber dry, so that was no surprise to me. It definitely wore off in places, but skin tints normally do that when you nap, when you have your face in a pillow. So I was not expecting this to be like full-on coverage like all day. I will say my skin still does look very even and like pretty nice, minus the like cute flush I have going on in my cheeks right now. My skin still looks dewy and fresh. I do really like that. It's not like greasy looking, it just looks like very luminous. I may powder in between my eyebrows just because it is a little sticky there. But my cheeks and stuff still look very like dewy and nice. My giant spot. Like I said, like there are patches where it's worn off a little bit, but this is a skin tint. I wasn't expecting it to stay completely covered all day. But I do like that my skin still looks like hydrated and fresh. There's just that one dry patch where I have that irritation. But other than that, it still looks pretty good. My bumps are starting to peek through where I have like those blemishes and stuff. But again, it's a skin tint. I do really like how it's wearing so far. Sorry, I keep like looking in the mirror so I can like talk about things. My bronzer and blush and highlights still look really, really nicely on top of it. Those haven't worn off at all. And normally like throughout the day, bronzer and stuff, at least on my skin, kind of starts to wear. But it still looks really good. So far I'm pretty happy with this. I might go put a little bit more concealer on this bump. Although honestly, I'm not going anywhere, so whatever. I will say, using that Hourglass setting powder, mascara got so under my eyes, and normally that doesn't really happen with me, although I've been finding recently that since I've been using like an eye oil to hydrate my eyes during the day, which I love, it's amazing, I have to set my under eye concealer look better. I'm not used to not having dry under eyes, so I'm still kind of learning how to stop that. But that powder did nothing to stop transfer, so a little disappointed in that. That was not even being tested in this video. I have used that so many times. Sorry, my phone is like blowing up right now. I've used it so many times and never had this problem before, but you can still kind of see the remnants of my mascara under my eyes. And the Lancome Ultra Big Mascara like normally does not move on me. So I don't know if it was just like a combination of things, but that's the first time I've used that setting powder with it, so I don't know if it just didn't set enough. I don't know. So that was interesting. But other than that, foundation looks great. I'm going to try and leave this makeup on for a few more hours and then check in again before I wash my face, but well, who knows if that'll actually happen. I'm gonna try. I'm really gonna try, guys. But yeah, so I'll hopefully see you in a few hours. Hey guys, back for the second check-in. It's 9:50 now. This is what the foundation looks like on my skin. Obviously it's worn off in a few places. It's been a very long day. But it still looks, my skin looks very nice and glowy and fresh. More spots are starting to peek through over here, right here. This side definitely wore off more than this side did. This side still looks a little bit more put together. My bronzer looks a little bit patchy now, but I feel like overall it sat pretty well on the skin. I really liked it throughout the day, how it wore. My skin stayed glowy and fresh, and it didn't like get dry at all or like cakey. So I do really like that. My spots are peeking through a lot, so it did wear off a lot throughout the day, but it's a skin tint. I'm not really mad about that. But yeah, so overall I really do like this product. So I'm going to wash this off now and go to bed, and I will see you in our next video. Bye guys.